Hello and welcome to the NBA Economy Show. This is Fritz coming with my friend Karan from the Objective Nick fan. Definitely a channel I watch, someone I really respect, and it'd really be nice for us to like chop it up. So I've been really looking forward to this date for us to be able to have a conversation, first of many.
Yes.
So introduce yourself, Karan.
Well, welcome NBA Economy family. It's a pleasure to be here. Fritz is a guy who always he calls into the show. He always had a great perspective, and then from there we connected. And I've been wanting to come on his show for a while now. It's a good platform. Fritz he comes from a well informed perspective, especially when we start talking about the salaries and the money and things of that nature. So I like talking about money and salary. So I figured this would be a perfect platform for me to come on and share some good information with your plan,
Absolutely.
your guess.
Yep, absolutely. Um, yeah, we're talking Knicks today. Sometimes we talk about different Knicks, different things besides the Knicks, but it's all about the Knicks today. Um, you know, the goal is clear. The goal is the championship. We do talk about like championship windows. Um, some people are more focused for this year or the window,
Mhm.
but over the last year, we've amassed some players that we feel that we can win a championship at various times. But the question comes: is this enough? Like, should they keep this core together? Um, is this the end goal, or is this like, are we on the way um, with a few moves to a championship? So that's what we're going to kind of discuss today. Um, First, we'll just talk about the roster right now. We have 14 players on the roster. How many players on the roster would you consider uh, core players?
Well, my core is where I think Mike Brown's going to go with his rotation, the tightening of the rotation. He's kind of giving you a preview of it in the last game, playing those 8 guys. So you take the starting five with Hart, then you look at Clarkson, you look at Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride. And then if I can add one more person to that, I would say Shamit because they really like him, even though he doesn't have a long-term deal. But I think those 9 guys are the 9 guys that will be featured in the rotation going forward. Whether they add, another guy, if they keep Yabu, let's say they keep Yabu, and then you add him as a 10th guy. But those 9 guys, I think, are ahead of everybody, and I think those are the guys that I would consider core, meaning that they're in the rotation. And most of them have future plans, future, it's not just a 1 year deal, right? Longevity with the franchise.
Okay, yeah, 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 we do have that 9-10. That 9-10 is a little bit different than last year. Tibbs 9-10 was like
Yes.
nine
Right.
ten and others. like
Right.
like
Yes.
they didn't matter.
No.
Um, Even if we were short, they didn't matter. But we see they have 9 guys that matter.
Mhm.
Um, this year they have been focusing a little bit more on the other five. Um, this year, how do you feel those other five have come along?
I like it because next man up mentality. This league has been plagued by injuries this season. I mean, across the board, right? I understand you cover like the NBA economy, so you're not just focused on the Knicks. I scout teams all the time, so I'm looking at teams. I'm like, damn, they're missing 5 players, and they're playing a whole bunch of guys you never heard of. So what's saving the NBA and these teams is getting production from the guys you've never heard of. And I think it's important that Mike Brown instills confidence in these guys to play their game and giving them time. Now, what I wasn't a fan of was him playing guys 2 minutes, come in 2 minutes and take them out. I was more for, okay, yeah, we can't play all 12 of the guys, but if I could give 2 of those guys 10 minutes or 2 of those guys 11 minutes, 12 minutes, it'll be way more beneficial. And I think Mike Brown's has done a good job of giving those young guys confidence because when they come into the game, they're ready to play.
Yeah, yeah. They produce. Like I was kind of shocked because when we started the year, some of these players they put out there, I was like, wow, we might have wasted these players. But
Yeah.
after a little bit of time, like we seen some growth from Kolick.
Yeah.
We seen some growth. Uh, Pretty much everyone for Dottie. Dottie hasn't had a lot of opportunities, but pretty much everybody has responded at one point. The guys that we kind of had question marks going into the season.
Right.
Um, we do have we had a couple decent signings this summer. I thought we had a very good summer. What do you think about the two players that we signed this summer?
I think Jordan Clarkson is pretty much what we expected, except I think he's giving a lot more effort on defense. And of course, I'm not saying he's this stopper. I'm not saying he's improved so much that he's a game changer defensively, but he gives effort on defense, and that's a testament to the coaching staff getting the most out of these guys, buying into the philosophy that they want to provide. I think Brendan O'Connor's the defensive guy. Whatever he's instilling into these guys, you can tell that they're really trying to put it into practice. So I'm more impressed with Jordan Clarkson's defense than anything else. We know that he could get buckets. We know he could get hot at any time. He gives us a six-man caliber player, and I'm satisfied with Jordan Clarkson. I'm like I said, the defense surprised me a little bit. His effort, him getting fouls, I don't mind it because he's trying at least on defense. Now, Gershon Yabusele, I did a 33-minute show based on his Eurobasket performance. I paid $20 just to watch him. I didn't watch France. I mean, I didn't watch nobody else besides France. I didn't watch Giannis or Luca. None of those guys. I only watched him. And
Mm-hmm.
in watching him, I noticed a lot of problem areas that I felt could hold him back if his offense wouldn't be on point. Because unfortunately, what's holding him back is the fact that, he doesn't look like he can do anything else effectively besides shoot the three ball or get a bucket in the mid post. I mean, you rarely get mid post opportunities in this system as it is, especially if you're not Brunson or Towns or somebody like that, or Mikal when he takes his little fadeaway shot. But um, him not being able to rebound, he's just not a good rebounder. It's just not something he does. And perimeter defense, where that's like 80% of the NBA, is you have to be able to guard on the perimeter. You got to guard pick and roll. He's not a good pick and roll defender at all. So based on those aspects, I was like, oh man, it just I never was as hyped as everyone else is because I kind of seen the limitations, but I was hoping that he would be able to at least be effective on the offensive end in this system of shooters in the corner, spread them out, get shooters to the corner fast. It just hasn't really translated for him. So when people were saying he was a steal of free agency, I was like, oh, pump the brakes, and not that I expected it to be this bad, but I didn't think that he was the best free agent acquisition to me. Was I satisfied with the guys at the time? Of course. I'm happy with Clarkson, but maybe with Yabu we could have went in a different direction. But that's hindsight. That's after we got enough time to see what happened. So I can't beat up Leon for that. But I would say I'm happy with Clarkson. Kind of wish we went in a different direction with Yabu.
Yeah, yeah. Clarkson, I think he's as advertised. In some respects, a little better than advertised at some things. Like I thought he was, we all know he's gonna let it fly,
Right.
um, but he can get a little scrappy sometimes.
Yes.
So like that's the part I didn't see. Um, but Yabu surprised me. Like unlike you, I really did have high hopes. Like
Oh, okay.
it
Okay.
seemed like he was ramping up. So as the Philly season went on, he did pretty well, and then he had a breakout in the international play.
Hmm.
So it was like, okay, he took a step in it international, and now he's coming back. Oh, he's gonna be balling out for the Knicks. and I thought he was going to be one of the what Deuces to us to the
Right.
backcourt. I thought he was going to be Deuce for the front court, um, and it just wasn't that.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so definitely disappointed a little bit. Yabusele. Um, when it comes to you, do you think Yabusele's performance so far is so bad that you need to trade him?
Um, Honestly, while I do believe his performance is bad, right? And most of it I'm gonna give to him because it's just shortcomings. Like everyone else on this team, if they don't do if for example, Mitchell Robinson doesn't have to score, but you know he's gonna defend and rebound, right? Like you gotta do multiple things. OG Ananobi. The reason why people don't get on him more is because he plays defense. So the fact that the only thing he can do is really get buckets, he doesn't rebound, he doesn't. So it's like for me, him not getting the buckets is the huge disappointment because I was hoping that he at least could do that. But on the other side of it, I do feel like Mike Brown kind of, I don't want to say didn't give him his fair shake and try to make it seem like he didn't have opportunity, but I'm going to say that I do believe that um, more consistent minutes would have benefited him, especially when he was given the hardest task on the team alongside Carl Anthony Towns to learn all five positions, which is something that is very difficult. It's not simple to just learn all five positions. Everybody else gets to focus on one. Mitch gets to focus on one. Brunson, all these guys can focus on one area. I got to learn the entire floor. So I feel like maybe giving him a couple of more minutes where he could get a little more consistency because he also, I felt like, was not giving much effort because he was getting only 2 3 minute spurts at times. So yeah, I really do believe that, more time consistently, and you probably don't have to trade him, especially if you can't get a package that you would like.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes. Yeah. Very good insights on that one. So yeah, so we looked at the back of the bench. We looked at some of our new add-ons. Um, but for our more expensive players, the players who are taking the lion's share in the minutes uh, and the resources on the Knicks, how do you feel like they have done? Like the Jalen Brunsons, the Carl Anthony Towns,
Yeah.
so on.
Yeah, so on my channel, I got this show I do called the Knicks in 10 Show where I break down the Knicks every 10 games. I got a show I'm doing actually this Friday. And so, you know, if you really want me to tell you, I could tell you, but I'm gonna try to keep it. I don't want to be too long-winded, but I'm gonna tell you like this. To me, Jalen Brunson, if he's not an A, he's just short of A. I think Jalen Brunson's having a phenomenal season. I feel like he's making all the adjustments we wanted. He's taking less dribbles. He's trying to get his guys more involved. Some games he does, dribble more than others would like. But I feel as though, he has shown that he can get guys involved. He's shown that, at the start of games, sometimes they would force it to Towns to try to get him going. So I give Jalen Brunson an A. And as far as Josh Hart, he's another. I would give him if he's not an A, he's an A minus or B plus. I feel like Josh Hart impact on the start lineup is not just about stats. It's not just about rebounding. It's about the intangibles that he brings. Like literally, like Mike Brown said, he's a glue guy. And people kind of felt like, damn, we really needed Josh Hart that badly, like we lost like that. But it's not from a talent perspective. It's just from a cohesion perspective. Like Josh Hart makes these guys. He energized the guys too because he helps fulfill Mike Brown's philosophy in getting shooters in the corners fast. So when he gets the rebound, he's out. He don't got to pass it to a point guard, right? You're taking away a step in the transition process by having Josh Hart just go run the show and then either get a layup by himself or dish it to the corners, right? So Josh Hart to me is nothing short but of an A. OG Ananobi, up and down. I want to give him a B, and if I am giving him a B, it's because of his defense. His defense has been incredible. I think that he's shown that he's one of the top 5 best defenders in the league, and hopefully he can get All NBA defensive team honors, and I think he will with all the notoriety, national TV games that we had. I would say it's his defense definitely way more than his offense because he's supposed to be the third option on this team, or at least he kind of defaulted into that role. And I don't think that he's shown enough consistency on the offensive side for him to warrant a higher grade than that. Mikal Bridges, I I don't want to give him a B minus, but I'm kind of leaning towards a B minus only because he is just because he's content with being the fourth option. I don't like that. He's way more talented. His defense is great. I love the defense. I love him trying to play, make, and get others involved. That's fantastic. But no, Mikal, when we had nights where OG wasn't there and Towns wasn't there, when Brunson wasn't there, you needed to get buckets, man. And I felt like he just becomes one of the guys out there. And I think that if he wants to be the third option on this team, or if he wants to just be a more consistent scorer, it has to start with some level of aggression. Now, is it Mike Brown's system that's limiting him? Maybe. I don't know. But I do think a good part of it also will go back to him. So I give him a B, maybe a B minus, because I expect more out of him just on the offensive side. As far as Towns is tough because I want to give him a B minus, but I'm gonna give him a B because he has been dominant. He's still top 3 in rebounds. And I just think that Towns kind of takes himself out of the game. And Towns should be an A, but arguing with the referees is not helping his cause. If you notice when he goes through stretches where he doesn't argue with the referees, he will get calls. But when he argues, that's when, because honestly, it's hard. Like sometimes when you watch Towns, it's like he hooks every play. Like every play, you could damn near call an offensive foul on Cat. So it's like you
Mm.
gotta police your whistle. So that's the other side that people don't consider. Yeah, Towns get beat up, and they miss the calls, but he also gets away with a lot. He gets away with a lot. And he needs to just focus on the game. If he does that, he can easily get a cool 25 and 12 a night. So that's why I'm leaning towards B minus B with him. I mean, but he's still top 3 in rebounding. He's still giving you over 20. So it's hard to give that a B minus. So I give him a B. And if you want me to just give one more grade, I give Deuce a grade. Honestly, I would want to give Deuce an A. But he's spent a lot of time in and out of the lineup. He's also hasn't been as consistent as you would like at times, especially before he went on fire from 3. So I would give probably Deuce a B plus. I love the fact that he's guarding 94 feet. He's the only player on the team that does that consistently. That's in the core. I think Dio Robert tries to do that, but he doesn't get time like that. So, but Deuce McBride, I would say definitely short of an A. I probably would give him a B plus just for the fact that he wasn't shooting well most of the year, and he missed some time. But other than that, I feel like what Deuce McBride is doing is incredible. You could play him with the starters. He is the true 6 man of the team, even though I know that was supposed to be Clarkson's honor. But
Mhm.
I would give him a B plus.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like those grades. Um, yeah, I would probably give Jalen a B plus.
Okay.
Like his scoring, the scoring is really good. We've seen him try to adjust to the new system, like not holding on to the ball. Like he's done a decent job, but like if it's not working, he will take over. Like if y'all ain't do it, I'm gonna do it. Like,
Right.
but I really like where Jalen is. I think probably his teammates have to help him get to the next level. Like I think once he trusts them, I think sky's the limit on that one. Comes a cat like I know like they're killing him on Twitter, but like I went back and I looked at some of the numbers and I'm like, if this is such a bad year, like this is an average year for Cat. Like, it's not a bad year. It's worse than our first year with him, but it's not a bad year. And it's better than like his last year in Timberwolves. So like you're you're getting a return. It's not like, hey, our investment went bad. Like, nah, our investment didn't go bad. It's just the numbers aren't just don't jump out like last year. I think that's the difference. But I I think when people down Cat, I think they're crazy. I think they're crazy. I think they just want it all. Like you want the best player in the league. He's not the best player in the league, but he's great. Um, Mikel is probably the one. Mikel is the C.
Mm,
Like Mikel could do this all day, and I think the way he plays and how he avoids contact, yeah, he's gonna give you 82 games. He's gonna give you good defense. He's gonna give you good shooting.
right.
But there's a level, like there's a different level for him that he just don't bring every night. And it's like, okay, when I can call you great when you can bring a little bit more every night. Like, no, like we saw how he started the year, and he was like, oh, Mikel gonna be all-star this year, and then he fell
Right.
back, he fell right back into comfortable zone, doing what he do. Um, so yeah, it's Mikel's the one I'm probably disappointed where I give him a C, and it's not a bad C. It's just he's just comfortable doing what he does, and
100%.
I think it's probably Mike Brown's job to make him break that because we saw last year in the playoffs, like Mikel when he wants to, like,
Dangerous.
shut players down. You can't stop him from shooting, and it's like, okay, if you could do that, like, why aren't you attempting? It's not even he doesn't even attempt it. Like, I could see if, hey, I'm shooting and I went 3 for 16. He's not gonna go 3 for 16. He's just gonna shoot 8 of them
Right.
and be comfortable.
Right. Exactly.
I can see if you played your heart out and you went 3 for 16. No, he's a little bit too comfortable in the role he is, and is probably holding us back as a team. Because
Mm,
Jalen needs
right.
him to be assertive. Because once he's assertive, they can't focus on Jalen. Um, OG Ananobi, he's he's great at what he does. I still think we're doing him a disservice by playing him where he's at. I would love to see him play smaller players. Um, he's going against bigs, playing a lot of power forwards, and I think he's doing the best he can. But I think we'll talk a little bit about trades later, but I think the Knicks are doing him a disservice, and if they put someone in his spot and let him play smaller players, I think the Knicks can reach the next level. Um,
Mm,
so yeah, that's kind of where I'm feeling about those top line players. Um, Deuce is an A. Um, yeah,
right.
y- y- yeah. Like you try to find minutes for Deuce. He's kind of benefited from some of these other players being injured
100%.
because you haven't had to make a hard decision or give players DNPs just because. But once those players start to come back, then you have to make some like tough decisions and hurt people's feelings. So yeah, but as far as the players, that's what I feel. I think we have a really good like core players, the upper, you know, the big money players, the players who are playing in the rotation and out of the rotation. I think we're overall pretty good. When it comes to See my next question. Do you feel that any of the players on our roster are not playing to their contract?
Oh man, that's a good question. Overall, if I had to say one player, I would say OG Anunoby. You're making $200 million and you're giving me 15 points, 6 rebounds. Great defense. I weigh his defense heavily, probably
Mm-hmm.
more so than anybody else does, or others are willing to give him rather, because what he's tasked with doing, literally guarding Cade Cunningham, then guarding Giannis, like the wide range of guys that he guards. I don't think many players in the league have that, body of work. So I get it from a defensive standpoint, but in this league, defense doesn't get you paid. And I'm pretty sure there's a guy we're gonna be talking about later who also had that issue, or has that issue rather, and he's not making the same amount of money as OG. So it's like, you know, why can't, is it coaching? Is it you? What is it from on the offensive side? Because clearly he's the third I don't know if it's by purpose or it's just happened to be that way, but he has become the de facto third option. I thought it was going to be Mikal, but he's the guy who gets a lot more shots most of the time. Even though his scoring is pretty much tanked from where it was at, it dropped from 18 points per game. But I would say him if I had to pick someone.
Oh, okay. All right. Actually, for me, it's I know Mikel got his extension this summer. I, I think Mikel at 25 was fine. Mikel at like upper 30s, 40s, 40. I think that's where I think it's kind of like, okay, I'm gonna need a little bit more. I'm gonna need
Right.
a little bit more. I
Right.
think OG probably does get paid a little bit more than he should, but I really don't mind it. The way I kind of look at it is how if I had to trade you, would someone look at it as negative? Would they say, "Hey, OG Ananobi, man, that's a lot. Like you're gonna throw in the picker. You're gonna have to give me like I don't think
Mm,
anybody's gonna do that with OG. Like I think you put OG if you put OG Ananobi on the open market, like teams would just line up. And I think a lot of New York fans kind of got used to him, that they don't really see his value. Um, I think you have a lot of New York players look at and they say, "Oh, Herb Jones, I'll take old Herb Jones. He's better than anybody on the." You have OG Ananobi.
right.
You worry about Herb Jones.
Yeah, that's
um,
nonsense.
so like I think he's in the marketplace. He's worth it. Um,
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have issues paying people a lot of money who don't score 20 points a game. I think that's kind of like a general 20 and 10. I think people are like, oh, okay, this person's a star, or this person's an all star. You're worth a certain amount of money, and he hasn't checked off all star, and he hasn't. Yeah, so I think,
Okay.
but I think he's definitely kind of almost worth it, right up there.
Yeah. No, Mikal would have been my pick had the contract started this year.
Yeah,
But I was giving them grace because
yeah,
he's
give
looking like
him.
a 25 million.
Yeah,
That's why I gave it. It would have been Mikal though. Yeah. For the record.
yeah,
But
yeah, absolutely. So, do you think this is a championship roster?
damn, this is tough because on my channel, I spoke about this many times. We went back to 1958. On a championship team, you don't have a champion that won the championship without a first team or MVP, right? And currently, right now, we don't have either. I mean, Brunson's working on that, but right now, we don't have either. And the only team that defy those odds was the 2004 Pistons, but they had 4 All-Stars. As great as we think this Knick team is, we don't have 4 All-Stars, right? And not that all 4 of those guys necessarily were All-Stars right then and there, but they became All-Stars. I don't think that based on what I'm seeing from OG and Bridges, I don't know if it's possible if they will become All-Stars. Even if one of them became an All-Star, it will only be just 3 All-Stars, right?
Hmm.
So it's still not the same criteria, right? That Pistons team defensively was really good as well. But nonetheless, when I look at this Knick team, I think we could go to the finals. I'm 100% sure that this team could get there. Is there a world where they don't get there? I hope for God it doesn't happen. Yes, but I think that this team is good enough right now to get to the finals. Now, when you get to the finals, there's a 50-50 chance, and that's the most I could give this team. I don't think I would pick us as a favorite against any team any of the top teams in the West. I mean, maybe San Antonio because Wemby's kind of young. Maybe we would be the favorites in that scenario. But against Houston, I still see them probably being the favorites. I think we could win, but I think like I'm talking about Vegas and them people. I don't know if they would make us the favorite ahead of any top Western Conference team. But it's hard for me to say. I'm gonna say it's a 50-50 chance once we get to the finals. Would I pick us as a favorite? Let's say, okay, if you take the best team in the West right now and you take us, would I say we would be a favorite against OKC? No, no. I would not say that. Now maybe it also depends on how these other teams look too going into the postseason. That could shape it. Like let's say the Knicks go on a crazy run and we're the best team in the East, undisputed. Maybe some people, maybe Vegas might give us some leniency, but realistically, when you look at the NBA and what makes it kind of more unique than any other team sport is that stars and individuals matter more in this league. So at the end of the day, you're looking at Jalen Brunson, who we love, who's a great player, but Jokic, KD, right? That's what you're weighing it against. Even though it's a team game and it's way more than just that, but because of those factors that they got those MVPs and those first teams, it kind of gives them the edge unless Jalen Brunson becomes first team this year, which is something that he could do.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, I think we have. Yeah, I think. Yeah, my mind goes toward the East. I think that losing streak kind of shook me a little bit. Um, I think we have as much chance as we had last year,
Mm,
and I don't think we've increased our chances.
wow.
I think we've
Okay.
kind of we've improved, but the East improved, and I think we're kind of going with everyone else. With with the season preview I did on the KLT show, I I said there were several teams in the East I was kind of scared of, and it wasn't that they were good now, is that they can get good. Like they had the assets to like do something at the deadline, and then okay, it's a different team. They can raise they can raise their ceiling. Um, um, I'm not sure if Knicks are at the place where a small improvement at the deadline would put them heads and shoulders above everyone in the East. But there's definitely some teams in the East. They can do something drastic, and okay, now they're the hunted.
Facts.
So I think that's kind of where we're at. That's why I kind of people are like, oh no, we're good. Like just stay pat. I think if you take that approach, someone's gonna pass you. Someone's gonna pass you because you didn't you didn't anticipate a change. Um, I think I think there's there's a lot of big names out there right now. Like you starting to hear players who are talking about as cornerstones in the league. Ja, just thrown about. You see you see in Dallas. Dallas is just getting rid of Anthony Davis. Take him. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, those are the type of players like could really like swing you from a decent chance to like, okay, we're top of the conference.
Right.
Do you feel that there are any targets that the Knicks should be looking at this deadline?
Well, the one that strikes me off rip was Jaren Jackson.
Okay,
Him being made available, I think that's a name that I would definitely like. And I'm willing to trade one of my core guys for that guy. Yeah,
okay.
because if all right, here's where I'm at, Fritz, right? Okay, it's okay to have superstars that don't play defense. You see Jokic, you see Luka, right? But everyone else has to play defense. So, like to what Fritz is saying in terms of improving the team, I want everybody else to play defense besides Brunson. If I believe Brunson and Towns is the 1-2 punch, I need to build a team around them. I still don't think that that's what we did. I think we just did a trade for Towns because Minnesota wanted Dante DiVincenzo, and then how many picks could we give up to get Mikal? That's what I think. That's just what it was. I don't think that they strategically thought about Brunson, Towns, build team around, right? And maybe that will be the direction they go in next year because, you know, like what Dolan is saying in these interviews, I don't think it's cap. I think he really believes in Leon because right now he's the voice for Leon. We don't ever hear from Leon. But I'm thinking that, you know, they believe in those two. And everybody else becomes, you know, tradable commodities. But I think that Jaren Jackson would be the power forward that we've been craving for to help Karl Anthony Towns and defensively having the guard bigs. The only thing that Jaren Jackson doesn't do is rebound. But besides Josh Hart, who else? OG Anunoby does not rebound. Mikal Bridges does not rebound. Okay. We still a top rebounding team in the league, just with Mitchell Robinson, Josh Hart, and Towns. So, you know, I think that's a guy that I would love to get, Fritz. You ask me.
We on the same page, bro.
Let's go, Fritz.
We on the same page. and I've been waiting to kind of break down the situation with
Let's go.
with Jaren Jackson Jr. And I think people need to see the whole situation because Memphis has loved Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah.
Like from the very beginning, like Knicks, shortly after he came in, he was on the Knicks have been wanting this guy from almost the beginning. He is a CA client. He's, we hired his pops and put him in Westchester right before he hit free agency. Sounds a lot like Jalen Brunson, what we did at that time. Yep. And it didn't work out. But, he signed back with Memphis. He gave Memphis a deal. I'm not sure why, but he gave Memphis a deal. And it's come to a point where he needed to get paid. And Memphis made room. Bane is out the door. They gave him every dollar they could this summer to put him at that like $50 million slot. However,
let's go.
if you thought you were gonna be in the hunt for a championship, that was okay, and it was okay if like Ja was number one, and Jaren Jackson Jr. wasn't quite a number two, but you couldn't do it without him. But at this point, you're giving up. You're gonna give up Ja. So your number one's out the door, and your number two is gonna be paid like a number one. But he's really not even a number two. He's really a number three.
Exactly. Bingo. Let's go, Fritz. Let's go.
And next year, his paycheck kicks in. Like next year, he's at the Mikal spot. Like I gave you your extension. You're making your old paycheck right now, and next year you're gonna make your new paycheck. If there was a time to get rid of him, is before his new paycheck kicks in. And I know you just paid him, but you just by trading Ja and what you're gonna trade Ja for. Like you're not trading Ja for another star. You're not trading. Hey, I'm trading Ja and I'm gonna get back another compare. No, they're bare minimum, maybe a pick.
Bingo.
So now you know we're gonna be trash for the next 2 years at least. I'm not gonna pay Jaren Jackson Jr. to be a number three. And Ja's missed a lot of time this year. And Jaren Jackson still looks like a number three.
Yes. Talk, Fritz. Yes.
And I'm like,
100%.
ooh. I'm like, Ja missed a lot of time. And you have a lot of young kids. This is when you should be padding your stats. This is you should be looking like Jokic. Jokic don't have much on that roster, and if I gotta fill it up, I'll fill up. That's how it is, and he's not doing that. He's number three. So I know people are looking like, hey, it's not enough, but this may be the time, and I think a lot of teams are gonna look at him for his rim protection. His rebounding just isn't there.
Right.
It just isn't there. But the one skill besides defense is 3-point shooting, and that is a premium in the NBA. I would love to see him on the Knicks. It's about what makes sense for both teams, because I think I've seen some trades on the timeline, and I'm like, that trade doesn't really help them a lot. But I think we do have I think we do have enough to get him.
Okay.
And I think enough for us may not be enough for everyone else, because he is CAA. He's in the family.
Yes, he's a part of the
family,
mafia.
and family knows how to act, push them buttons. So I think we can do it. Is there a specific trade you had in mind?
Now, I know this might sound crazy to some people, or some people may rejoice. I call them the Mitchettes. The Mitchettes. The Mitchettes love Mitchell Robinson. They don't want to ever see him go. So I got one scenario where he stays with the team. But I don't know, Frizz, you got to tell me, because I don't think you might agree with me on this trade. But what I'm thinking, because right now it's so hard because no one really has money, right? Like that to really help like throw cash in a deal. I'm talking about significant cash in a deal. But maybe this will work if we could find a 3-team deal. A third team that could like maybe throw in a smaller salary and then throw in some picks. Because I'm not sure if the Memphis Grizzlies will want OG. I don't know if they would want OG. But if I could get another team that always wanted OG, whether it be in Miami, I don't really know what their pick situation is. I don't know. Or let's just go with a hypothetical team. Because right now it's really hard because everyone wants to do a trade, but no one really ain't got no money like that. So it's like you got to kind of match value for value at some point, right? unless you're talking
Hmm.
about like small salaries. So let's say there's a hypothetical third team that wants OG Anunoby, and we could make the money work somehow with the salary, right? What I
Hmm.
would do is send that third team OG Anunoby, right? That third team will entail send whatever little package players and picks they have to the Memphis Grizzlies, right? And hopefully, the goal for them is expiring contracts or contracts they could buy out. So if they could get like 2 picks for OG, what would it be for Jaren Jackson and whatever little players expiring contracts that help them free up some money, and so they don't got to spend all this money on Jaren Jackson. And then of course Jaren Jackson comes to the Knicks, and OG goes to that third team. I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to get it done, but like Fritz said, got teams are going to have to, like, you're not going to get, if you want to trade somebody, you're going to get short value. sh- Short value unless you're the team that's trading the multiple players for that one player. So um, that's one deal. I do have another deal, but I'm curious to know what you think about that.
I pretty much had swapped him for OG, like
You did
straight
okay,
up,
okay, okay, okay,
like
okay.
straight up,
Straight up, okay.
like OG. I forgot how I did it. Actually, I did a team trade. Like OG makes like 5 million more.
Hmm.
Basically, I don't know. I had written it out, but it's actually I kind of took two things and I kind of put them together.
Okay,
basically,
that works.
basically.
Let's go.
Okay, so like actually, like let me bring that up.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Do your thing.
You know what I mean? We, you dollars in cash that you can give out to different teams. So basically, a lot of times you'll see that cash go out in trades where if I want to get rid of a player and I'll give you a second round pick, but I'm gonna also give you the cash to pay for the player. Um, so basically, we're gonna give him the difference between OG and Jaren Jackson Jr. I think OG and Anobi would serve them better in the West because Jaren Jackson Jr. I think he's just so flexible. Like he could be a three, he could be a four.
Exactly.
I think he would be a good player to have around that young player. And maybe this summer they go into the summer and kind of pick out, hopefully in the draft
Right.
or a star in the league. Um, but
Okay.
hopefully in the draft because it's Memphis. So
Right.
hopefully in the draft they can get someone. But I think OJ gives them a nice placeholder for now.
Okay.
Um, but what it does for the Knicks is rim protection has been the thing. Like
Yes.
we can't cover it up. There's no denying it. Rim protection is an issue. We have a wing stop, but it hasn't been as impactful as we thought. Like we thought we just gonna be shutting teams down, but it hasn't. Like now in this situation, I wouldn't mind if Mikel is in a 20-point game player, if he's taking OG Anunoby's role. If you're taking the best, if you're taking on the best guard, I'm fine. But I think that rim protection is like key. Like right now, like we absolutely need that because Cat is getting killed. Cat is getting
Right.
killed. The same time, Mitch, for as much as he does give you, I don't expect him to be here next year. Also, for as much as he gives you on offense, he doesn't give you enough. And
Mhm.
I think the 3-point shooting between Cat and Triple J together, man, I think Mike Brown would just, yeah, I think Mike Brown would just love, like, yeah, like I think you could play either one, inside or outside, like doesn't matter, doesn't matter.
Wow.
I'd be a little clunky, but I think it kind of puts you in a situation where, um, for what we need, it puts us where we need for like the next 3 years.
Facts.
Puts us where we need the next 3 years. I think there are some caveats on that. Is if you do this trade and you're getting at him on his old paycheck, and his new paycheck kicks in next year, you're throw out the idea of Mitchell Robinson, 0%, like not happening. Um, and I think at that point you're kind of not looking good for Deuce either.
Mm.
You're not looking good for Deuce. Um, so
Is team
basically,
success predicated on that? Or even if we did, let's say we did win the championship, I know Mich could still be out of here because you
okay,
could get
yeah,
somebody that could block shots, but
okay.
Deuce is more so what I'm talking about. Like if
If
we
you
win the championship,
okay, yeah, maybe I changed my mind. 'Cause the only difference is the only reason you stay over the second apron, um, is if you love the team and I don't need to make changes. Like making changes once you're over the second apron, it's tough, and then they start taking picks, and
yeah,
that's why Boston did what it did, and they did.
right.
They didn't love it, like they liked it, but they didn't love it. So if you love it, okay, pay deuce. Couple years it really wouldn't affect you, but third year, okay, then you're starting
You're
to
gonna
get some
break it.
pain. Yeah,
Yeah. Third year, yeah. This is gonna break it up. Yeah, nothing lasts forever, man. You
yeah,
know, this is yeah. This is especially in the world of sports. We all know that. Mike Tomlin just left his job after 19 years. So yeah, nothing. Yeah, it comes to an end eventually.
yeah,
So,
yeah. But yeah, basically that's it. Like I don't. I went into the year Triple J. I didn't think he would be available, so my
right.
mind just never went there until maybe recently.
Hmm.
Um, but I thought maybe, man, I would just love for Giannis not to come here
Mm,
and Bam become available. And I said Bam could be that second guy also.
mm.
So like I kind of think of Bam and Triple J as like those two players. I wouldn't mind the Knicks. getting. And the only way you're gonna get Bam is if Giannis went to Miami and he
Yeah,
kind of,
exactly. Yeah,
you know,
because Pat Riley ain't doing no deal with her. You know that.
he ain't gonna do no deal with
Yeah.
us. It's a
Yeah.
Giannis deal that
Right.
you kind of work
Yeah, you
with the
throw
Bucks to
Bam
kind of make
away.
it. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So, but basically, yeah, those are the two guys. I really, really, really would like. Is Are there any other players you think? And
There's
it
a
doesn't have to be as grand. Like this doesn't have
no,
to
no, no, no,
be.
no, no,
Yeah,
no, no, no. My other ones aren't grand because realistically, the only way I was going to trade OG if I was going to get somebody who's a real power forward and who actually may definitely be better than him for what we need. Like we need a power forward that can defend bigs, but can be a power forward. So now Towns has space to do his thing, because one of the problems with Mitch and Towns is the spacing. You can't deal with it for too long. Like it's against certain matchups, a double big lineup is fine, but Towns needs that spacing. And with Jackson, he will have the spacing. Like you said, inside out, either one they could alternate. Um, but outside of that, and of course Giannis, if Giannis became available, then yeah, go get Giannis. But besides that, I'm looking at smaller deals. My favorite player is Sadiq Bey. I did a review on the Pelicans, and I was like, whoa, this kid is like a baby Julius Randle. And then I see them put out their list. They're not trading Zion. They're not trading Murphy. They're not trading Herb Jones. They got a list of guys they're not trading. But Sadiq Bey wasn't on the list. So right now, where teams is who are getting rid of talent is taking the L, like you're not getting the value, and maybe like Atlanta might benefit from Trae Young not being there. I mean, they was playing better without him, but they still didn't get the equal value in return, right? I mean, what value you're going to get for Trae Young? You're not going to get an all-star point guard or all-star, even if it's a forward. You're not going to get that. You had to do what Atlanta eventually did, right? So when I'm looking at the landscape right now, and Pelicans, I have them in the list of teams that just don't know what the hell they're doing. They just get all this talent, but they don't really know what the hell they're doing. So I could see us getting a Sadiq Bey from them. One of the packages I had was Pacome Dadier and Yabusele, and I'll give them a second round pick or two for Sadiq Bey if that's what it takes. Whatever arrangement they want with Yabu. And as far as Pacome Dadier, he's still young. Maybe he gets an opportunity there. Maybe he's a low ego guy that they could build and don't got to give him time. He's on a low salary. And then you get second round picks, a couple of, because you're not going to get a first round pick. The guy who I initially wanted before I did this King review was Ellis, and Sacramento. They're asking for a first round pick for Ellis, and I'm like, have you seen Ellis play? You're not getting a first round pick for Ellis. If think about it, if the Hawks didn't get a first round pick for Trae Young, you think you're gonna get a first round pick for Ellis? Laughable. So, um, I'm looking at Sadiq Bey. He's the second guy after Jaren Jackson. I'm like, yo, he's a baby Julius Randle. He gives us a backup power forward. He would be an OG Anunoby insurance policy. He gets buckets. He defends. He plays hard. He's like I said, a baby Julius Randle.
yeah. Yeah. Actually, I did a review on the KOT, and I was out on Sadiq Bey.
Okay.
No, I think he's a great scorer. Like I think I watched him play before Pelicans and when he was on Detroit. I've never seen someone go out on an injury and come back with a bigger bag. Like come back with a better skill set.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, he's actually better than he was in Detroit. Um I think but I think we need the defense though. Like over his offense, we need a player his size that can play offense and defense. And that's probably why I'm out. You're gonna have to give up Yabusele, so basically he's stepping in for Yabusele. and I think we need a little bit more defense than he can give. But he is a bucket getter. Like he is. I think whoever gets him is gonna he's gonna put up buckets. Yeah, but he's a really good player. I think it's just more fit than me saying, oh, he's not a good player. I think it's just a fit.
Hmm.
Yeah, I would like someone who can like pick up the defense a little bit more. Yeah,
But that guy doesn't exist.
yeah.
That
You
you're
know what? You're paying a premium for like if this
right.
guy,
You guys, I'm
that
saying,
guy,
yeah,
that guy is Tari Eason. That guy
right,
is Tari Eason. But
yeah.
like, nah, you're not getting him.
No, you're not, because you're gonna need a first round pick for him.
Yeah, you're gonna
Hundred
need it.
percent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So definitely, I did have a small trade. Um, so I'm gonna go to Phoenix, and
Okay.
basically, 1 second. Yeah, we're gonna go to Phoenix. Basically, yeah, we're gonna go to Phoenix,
Yeah.
and I'm going to trade um Yabusele. I am going to trade Pakum Dadier, a second round pick, and I'm gonna get back Nick Richards, because Huck Porty scares me.
Okay.
um, yeah, yeah, Huck Porty scares me. I don't think I can. I don't think I could play Huck Porty. Um, so I'm gonna get Nick Richards, but then you don't really have a power forward,
Right.
so I think you have to correct it with another trade, which
Okay.
is weird. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna get Nick Richards because not only do I want him this year, is I want him going forward when Mitch isn't here. So I'm gonna give him the door. I'm gonna give him an extension, and then he's gonna take over from Mitch next year. But and I'm probably gonna have to take a couple other players and get me a power forward in the door.
Right.
The other part I was gonna give is we kind of think of getting NBA players, but you can also trade two-way players
Right.
during this team, and they don't count toward the trade. Like they don't, their money don't count. So the player in the draft we didn't get that I really really wanted is in Phoenix, and he's on a two-way in
Okay.
Phoenix, and that is Kobe Brea. So I would take this opportunity to get Kobe Brea from Phoenix and get him onto the Knicks in Westchester, and then next this summer maybe he makes the roster.
Okay.
So yeah,
Makes
so
sense because we got a two-way spot available, so it makes
yeah,
sense.
one available right now. I think if we were kind of doing numbers on like some trades like um with San Antonio, and one of the reasons why they maybe didn't sign Dinkpay to that two-way spot is because there are some trades that if we did them, because you have to replace, if you did 2 for 1 and 3 for 1, you have to replace the spots.
Right.
There are some trades that after the trade wouldn't work to sign someone like Trey Jemison. Like you can
Right.
only afford a Dinkpay.
Right.
So like I think they're holding out and say, hey, let's do these trades first. And
Exactly.
if at the end of this trade, if Trey Jameson makes too much, I could use Dink Pate.
Bingo.
And so I
Yep.
think there's a possibility that Dink Pate could be on the roster
Yeah.
because of money. Because he's the only he's not the only one, but the only likely one. Because you have to be a rookie. If you're a rookie, you can make 1.2 million.
Bingo.
Um,
Yep.
and he's like the only guy that we kind of like really out there that we would give 1.2 million to. If
Easy.
you wanted Trey Jameson, 2 million.
Right. Because
So-
he has a year's service. He has more than a year's service. Yeah. Right.
Even Kevin McCullough is 2 million
Same
because
thing. Yeah.
we
Year's
gave him a
service.
2A last year, so he has a
Right.
year's service, so he's 2 million. So
Yep.
so like that, I think that's the reason why we have a spot open on the 2A and we haven't given it to anybody yet.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah. So I mean, those are two. I don't anticipate the Knicks trading Cat away to get him off the team. Like
Nah.
the only way I see Cat off this team is if Giannis.
That's it.
If it came down to it, and they wouldn't do it without Cat, maybe you include Cat. But any
Bingo.
other reason, you're not trading Cat. I know there's people out here. Oh no, he don't play defense, and no, like he's such a special talent that you pick up a player to pick up his slack instead of trying to get him out the door.
Right. 100%.
Yeah, absolutely. Are there any other trades that you had in mind?
Yeah, man. There's one more. This is comment briefly on your Nick Richard. I like it because Mitch is guaranteed for an injury, right? We don't want to put it out there, but God forbid if it did happen and you had Nick Richards straight, that's if you decide to keep him, but he also could be traded before the deadline. That's neither here nor there right now. But my final trade is a real small one, but I think it could be more impactful. Now, he's not a power forward, but he is somebody who has a brother as well that they always cook us every time. And it's like, damn, these goddamn Champagne boys. But the Wizards may be willing to give Champagne up for nothing. He's 6'6", he plays defense. Of course, he's not a real power forward, but he rebounds better than any other forward we got, averaging 5 point or maybe 6 rebounds a game when I last checked. I can't remember the exact number, but it's around 6. He's not getting that many minutes with Washington right now. I know Fritz had Koulibaly up there. He's also someone that got knocked out of the start lineup, and they have a lot of these wing forwards. So I'm willing to give up Pacone Dottier, the guy who's notoriously on everyone's trade list, hit list, and maybe a second round pick if they really feel like, oh, Pacone is not enough. I'll give up 1 second round, not 2, but I would give him 1 second round pick for Justice Champagne. He's better than any second round pick you're going to draft. He lights us up. I mean, you've seen what he did to us, right? He's not as highly regarded as his brother. His brother averages a little bit more than he does, but I think he has the same capability his brother has. Dead eye shooter from the corner, but the defense, he's 6'6", he's bigger than some of the other guards that we have. Of course, I know it would be a disruption to the rotation because he might find his way playing, but and he's on a favorable contract. I think he has 2 more years at a very nominal fee, similar to a Deuce McBride contract. So that means that you can move him if you had to. It's easy to move him. It's not a lot of money. Or if you keep him, he doesn't make a huge salary. And it's not going to take a lot to get him. And I think that he just makes your backcourt a lot bigger. And then you might could get away with him playing some small ball at the 4 with Josh Hart. I'm not to say I'm here to promote small ball because most of the deals we had made us taller. But this makes us taller, but not in the way we like. Hell, I might even be willing to give away. No, I'm not going to go there. I'm just going to keep it on Pacome Dottie. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna kill me. Yeah, let's just keep it there. Nobody
we're
likes
gonna we're
Pacome.
gonna have to throw that disclaimer up again.
Right, yeah. Let's just yeah, let's keep it on Pacome. Yeah.
But yeah, 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 I really do like him. Like he is the type of player we need. We need. I I don't think we really have like outside of Landry Shamet. Like, hey, this is like a 3-point shooter. Even
Right.
Mikel, I can't even say that's a 3-point shooter. Um, but yeah, I think he really fits it. I think the reason you use Pacome Dadier, I know when you go in the trade machine, it says 3 years. But the way the Knicks set it up, any year you get cut is his last year. So like, I think if they didn't want Dadier, like if
Right.
they can
Got
say,
it.
hey, at the end of the summer, like, hey, we're gonna cut Dadier.
Facts.
They're gonna have a lot of money this summer, and I think they're gonna try to build around Trey a little bit.
Right.
So they need roster spots. Like they can't keep all these kids and add for Trey. Like they need these roster spots. So I think it's a possibility. I think it's a real possibility.
Yeah, I would love to see it. The only problem is, like I said, now what happens with Shamit is going to be a clash, but I take that versus just being short, playing 3-point guards. I just need a taller team. So all of the moves we said, we prioritize height, and I think you gotta get bigger.
Yeah,
Because
I think my mind just goes to OKC, and my mind goes to OKC, my mind goes to San Antonio, and I'm like, you may be fine in the East, but when you hit those two, like,
oh my god,
Chet's up front,
yeah,
and then you got Jalen Williams. And then it's just like, wow, you need a little bit more size.
You definitely do. Definitely do. Even Denver, a healthy Denver is big.
Yeah.
So, boy, yeah.
All right. So I mean, yeah, those are some really good choices. So, I mean, are you tempted at all by Anthony Davis?
Hell no. Hell no. And it's not because he's not a great player. Like that, I feel like, he gets a lot of disrespect. He's a phenomenal player. Like, if you guaranteed me health, even just for this one, like if you said, I'm gonna give you Anthony Davis and he's gonna be healthy from now to the playoffs, you might have to do it. Because he still is AD. But the problem is you can't guarantee health. His salary is crazy, right? So you're gonna have to trade OG and probably somebody, right? And I just don't think I'm willing to sacrifice that for a guy in his mid-30s at this point when I'm building with guys in their late 20s, early 30s, and they're all on the same timetable. So just the health realistically is why I say no to AD. To be fair, it's just the health.
Yes, the health is huge. Like I'm surprised what we've gotten out of Cat, because up until the point where we got Cat, like his reputation's right there with AD.
Right. Yep.
But one thing about Cat, he'll play through it. Like this year, he's had the quad. Even last year, he's played through injuries. Like one thing about AD is like AD has shut it down like multiple times.
Facts.
Multiple times he's shut the season down. I can't, like, even if he costs less than Jaren Jackson Jr.
Right.
I can't. Like I can't.
Nah,
I can't do
can't
it.
do it. Yeah.
No.
Nah.
And like AD is asked for extension out the gate.
Facts.
He's like, oh no,
Good
no,
luck.
you're gonna trade me and then you're gonna give me an extension. And no, can't. I can't do it. I like Atlanta, have fun.
Oh my
The
God.
Atlanta have fun. Like the one team that does scare me if they get AD and AD kind of can keep it together is if Boston got him. If Boston got him, I would, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'd be upset.
It's a
I'd be
problem.
upset. Yeah,
Because if he's
if you,
healthy, if he just so happens to be healthy, they might be the favorite in
yeah,
the series. Yeah.
yeah, AD, yeah, AD, Tatum, and Brown and Pritchard and all.
It don't
I
matter who else. Don't even
I
say
don't
nobody else.
I don't
Just
want to
say
see.
those
I don't
guys.
want to see it. Like he can go to Atlanta and I'd be okay, but like do not go to
Yeah.
Boston. Like I do not want to see him in Boston. Yeah, that's the one I'd be scared of. So what about okay, another name. I'm pretty sure I know where you go on this one, but John Morant.
Hell, I did a show last night, man. First off, Draymond Green, I don't know what type of drugs he's doing. Not drugs. You know what it is? It's clickbait. He's a podcaster. He's officially become media. So he knows what's going to get him views and what's going to get people to write about him. So, let me just say the Knicks in the crazy trade and it'll get the attention. And I'm mad I paid it the attention, but I just had to just call him out because I love to call him out. So that's why I talked about it because I just, he says the most off the wall thing. And to me, even though I'm not saying he's bad at doing podcasting, I just feel like he's the example as to why players shouldn't podcast while they're still playing. It's just, he says these things that clearly you're biased. You think the Warriors are going to win the championship. So I can't listen to your podcast because your every take you do has to be to propel your team up, whether it's directly or indirectly. It's always going to be. And then you have the teams you don't like. So the teams you don't like, you take your shots at them, and it's just, I'd rather hear stories, like at least on the roommates, they tell stories, they get you involved. But yeah, Ja Morant, no, it's a negative. Now if this was like 5 years ago, before the reputation and the injuries, I might think about it, but Jalen Brunson is just, like, you don't need another point guard. You don't need another small dude with Jalen Brunson. You need to get somebody 6'8". Get me Jalen Johnson. Yeah, okay, now we talk. Give me somebody like, don't give me Ja Morant. Stop, please.
Yeah. Yeah, I John Morant, like I think his ego's a real big issue, man. Like I at first I was like, nah, they kind of picking on him some of the previous years. But with his tip with the coach like earlier in the year, like
Right.
I thought he was just like completely like over the line disrespect. Not only did he insult the coach, he insulted the whole coaching staff.
Facts.
And then like didn't apologize for it. Like usually like something every once in a while somebody says something they don't need to do or somebody does something they don't need to do, then they go to in front of the teams, hey, I'm sorry, man, I was out of line. Like nah, like he was disrespectful. Right. And then they just left it. Like they just like, okay, on to the next thing. Like nah, when you just that reckless, nah, I can't rock with you. Like and I'm not entirely sure. Like the way he's fallen off this year, I'm not entirely sure that his game is off. I think he might be dogging it. Like he might not be giving 100%.
Yeah,
and that concerns me more. That concerns me more than if he was injured, because it's like, okay, if you're not happy, you're just not gonna play to your ability.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like that's crazy to me. And I said, hey, I wouldn't be surprised he goes to some other team and then score 30 points a game, and be like, you know what I mean? They said when he had his argument, he's like, "Yo, that's the last time I'm really playing for them." Like they say
That's
yeah,
wild.
yeah, like he was like on one. So I'm like, if he's dogging it, that's crazy.
Yeah, that makes it even way worse. Cause look, I'm not gonna lie. If we didn't have Jalen Brunson and we had like a regular point guard, I might do it because we did take in Latrell Sprewell, who choked his coach out. So I don't know if what Jaws was doing with the coaching staff is way more disrespectful than that. To actually put your hands on the coach, yeah, I think that takes the cake. And then we turn Sprewell into a darling into the city. Everybody loves Sprewell. So maybe it could be he's not happy in Memphis, but if you put him someplace where they'll honor and appreciate him, or to where he feels like he should be appreciated, I would go get him. But the fact that we have Jalen Brunson makes it an automatic no for me. But if we didn't have Brunson, like if I was I can't even think of a team because every team got a good point guard. So, but if I was a team and my point guard position was like mid, like the
Oh
Nets,
yeah,
yeah, I
that's
might have to do it.
yeah. Shout out to Lee because me and Lee had this conversation. I'm like, I know they had 5 point. I know they drafted 5 point guards, but like, yo, I would put Jai at shooting guard and just have him just rock out. Just you know what I mean,
Yeah,
have him do with what you call is doing. What's his name? The shooter is doing MPJ.
right.
Just have him just hey, just do what you want, and I think it'll put butts in seats
Hell
and
yeah.
like yeah. So I mean, like Brooklyn is definitely that team. I'm like, okay, Ja would make sense. You know, what I mean,
Right.
he would make sense. I'm not sure
Yep.
who else. Not too many teams. I think it's the desperate teams are kind of
Right.
looking at
Of
him.
course.
The
Yeah.
Sacramento's,
Yeah.
um,
Hell, maybe even the Clippers might try to.
yeah,
The Clippers might be like,
they're
"Oh, wait
there.
a minute."
Man, after I'm not even sure when this Kawhi like punishment coming down, but like if that
Man, we'll
Kawhi
see.
punishment come down, like you're gonna need someone for the people to to watch,
Right.
and yeah, he could show out.
Hell yeah. 100%. Mom
Yeah,
was like, "I'll pay you whatever you want on the table." No, no, I'm joking.
who want to
That's
plant
not
some
the NBA economy
trees?
joke. Oh Lord.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think we pretty much touched on a lot of a lot of what's going on in Knicks at the deadline.
Yeah.
So, like, basically, do you what percentage do you put that the Knicks um do a trade um before the deadline?
I'm gonna tell you right now. One thing Leon Rose has shown you every single year is he's going to do a trade. Now, does it have to be Giannis? No. Or even Jaren Jackson? No. Or even Josh Hart? No. But I think it's going to be a deal. I think that it's 100% going to be a deal. Now, who goes is the mystery. Does Mitchell Robinson break the Leon Rose, you know, norm of keep if trading guys on contract years? That remains to be seen. But Pacome Dadier, I think for sure is out of here. I think if you just say, "Oh, I'm gonna keep Yabu," one thing I'm telling you 100% for sure is Pacome is out of here. Okay, so I'm gonna say yeah. I'm leaning towards yeah because we never seen Leon Rhodes avoid making change. Now one could say, well, the change was Mike Brown. Maybe we don't need the trade. Okay, then you got me. But besides that, I think that there'll be a deal. Yeah.
Yeah, I put it up at around 100%. Like, there's gonna be at least something, and I think there may be multiple trades. I think
Mm,
I think like the situation I saw is like, hey, one trade may break the team, and then you may have to make another trade to just kind of correct it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think the Knicks have to like. I think we went in. This is like championship or bust year. You have to make improvements because you know the other teams around you are going to.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, that's yeah, that's where I'm at. Uh, so Karan, like, tell us where the people can find you.
Yep. So I got my YouTube channel, The Objective Knicks Fan. I'm across the board everywhere with that same name. The only place I don't have The Objective Knicks Fan is on Twitter, TOF on fire. But I'm not really as active on Twitter as I need to be. I'm trying to get up my activity there. But I'm The Objective Knicks Fan every single place. I do post game call up shows, but I got some new shows that I do. I got a show Knicks Nocturnal I do on off days when the Knicks don't play. And then I got a morning show, the Blue and Orange Breakfast Show that I do mostly Wednesdays and Fridays, but I'm looking to expand that as well. And then I told Fritz this. I'm not sure if I told Fritz, but I might not have. But I'm doing an NBA show on Saturdays too. It's called NBA Saturdays. So all you got to do, when you go to the Objective Knicks Fan YouTube, hit that subscribe button and just be on the lookout for all the stuff that I got coming. It's a whole lot down the pipe. I also do a podcast on Monday this week called This Week Inside the Knicks. And yeah, and it's basically the purpose of it is to document the Knicks and in Knick history, and we go week by week. And I've been doing it now since the 2024 season. So yeah.
Yeah, uh, yeah, that's great. Like, I really enjoy like your podcast. Like, you have like a whole community, like people who are not just checking in, like people who like, yeah, they interact all the time. So you have a
Yeah.
whole system there. Like, yeah, really proud for what you're doing over there. Yeah, keep up the great work, man. Keep up the great
I
work.
appreciate. And one more thing too. I got this journal. It's called the 82 Nights, the official basketball intelligence system. You could also get this over on my platform when you go to my YouTube channel, or if you want to hit my Linktree the Objective Fan. And this is pretty much a system where I use to track the Knicks, man. From the 10 game reviews to the game notes to the calendar. It has a calendar where you could just put all your Nick calendar stuff in there. I mean, this is like a fully fledged system. It's more than a journal. Stats. It comes with an online club called the 82 Nights Club where you get access to. I track well over 100 Nick stats and more. So go check me out on Linktree / the Objective Fan, and you definitely could check out my journal. Well, I'll call it more than a journal.
Yeah, definitely. I was gonna check it out because I thought it was really interesting because like I'd be going through a game, like I'd just be like just fanning the game, and then it'd be like, "What happened?" And I was like,
Right.
you know what
Right.
I mean?
Right. Yeah. So it gives you a
So
chance to organize it, to document that. This might be a
yeah,
championship year. So I can tell you from game 1 through 40 what happened. Like I I could get as detailed as you want me to get, or I could give you the 10 game snapshot, right? And then I got my weekly pot. So, I'm doing my part in documenting the history. But yeah, these journals, man, I call it more than a journal, but just as a way for you could understand what it kind of is. It gives you the opportunity to do that, like what Fritz said. So instead of just watching the game, oh, you know what? Let me put pen to paper. So that way, when I look back at these moments, I can know exactly what happened instead of just fibbing. Oh man, you remember in '94 when John started? He didn't do that, but there's no way to really know because we didn't have even the social media that we have now. But even in social media, so much noise, you get lost in the noise. This right here gives you the best way to document it. So yeah.
yeah, it sounds really interesting. I'm gonna check it out. As for me, like NBA Economy Show on YouTube, on Twitter, Fritz handles. You also catch me sometimes on the Nick of Time Show post game. Definitely always in the chat. But you can always check me out there. Yeah, we're just starting out, but we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, so we can get the more features that we don't have right now. So please subscribe. I got a lot more time on my hands, so I'm gonna be spending a lot more time trying to put out content at least almost every day. Um, so yeah, looking forward to the future. Definitely, this is like the first meeting of many,
Oh
and
yeah.
yeah, looking forward to it. And with that, just like have a good day and see you the next time.
All right. I appreciate that. You as well. So is the chat.
Yeah.